Entry 4. Dress. I dreamt of being in a forest, an empty one at that. The trees were empty, bare like skeletons left to rot in the sun. It was cold in the forest, yet there was no snow. The sky above was bright, lit by orange sun. Everywhere I went, the things all stayed the same, just an endless sea of the dry bones of the forest. No animals were there, but the bones of all sorts of creatures were littered around the unholy landscape. It reminded me of catacombs. Then, after wandering for what seemed like days in the strange world, I awoke sweating. I met the team at our table for breakfast. Today was a hearty cereal and fruit that Quint had prepared for us. Fresh food from the city. "And so I jumped off the cliff into the fresh water. I blessed the water and killed that demon," said a voice. I looked to see Priest Grayson talking about his adventures with Canopy and Cassie. "I highly doubt you were able to bless an entire lake," I heard Canopy mumble. "Hey," I greeted, waving. "Ah, Rainy," Grayson exclaimed. "It's been a while, hasn't it?" "Yeah. So, how long are you staying this time?" "I'll be leaving at lunch to go to some convention." "Have fun," I said, wishing him luck. "Canopy, can I ask you something real quick?" "Sure," he replied, walking over to me, bringing a bowl of strawberries as he did. "What do you need?" "Do you remember those masked people we saw out near the woods yesterday?" "Yeah, creepy. I got the Watchtower Central Command to get a team to guard Artemia." "Remember that story you told me about your friend's disappearance? The one with the coffin?" I asked. "Yeah, of course I do," Canopy responded. "Why?" "You have access to the evidence files, right? I want to see the truck's camera. Perhaps this might be connected." "Good idea. Meet me in the lighthouse in 10. In 10 minutes I arrived in the lighthouse basement, and Canopy was there pulling up the evidence files of his friend's mysterious demise. "Here," Canopy yelped, beckoning me to take a seat. "Did you find the dashcam file?" "I did, but I found something strange. He was picking up the coffin at New Varela. That's also where the mannequin murders began." "Did someone say New Varela?" someone asked. It was Cassie, who had followed us. "Yeah, why? We're looking into the mannequins," I confessed. "It's because," Cassie sighed, "that's the mission today. We're supposed to go to New Varela to investigate this photo of a mask, or something that's been killing people." "Wait, a mask?" I quickly found a piece of paper and drew what we had seen yesterday. "Something like this?" "How did you—" "That was what the masked people were wearing in the woods yesterday," I exclaimed. "We need to go to New Varela." "We go there at lunch, but I'll expedite the matter," Cassie informed. "You two go investigate this matter. I have to prepare the plane." "We have a plane?" Canopy asked. "Did neither of you two notice the giant runway and the big warehouse next to it?" "You told us never to go in there," I rebutted. "Good point." With that, Cassie left the two of us. Canopy clicked on the dash cam and played it. The video, however, was 42 hours long. "Wait, Rainy, hand me that drawing. I should be able to use the facial recognition software on the footage." I did so, and Canopy scanned it with the phone and uploaded it to the database. There were 12 results. Each one of them was the truck stopping at truck stops and checking into Central Command. "I don't see the mask anywhere," I murmured, looking through the first file. Canopy laughed. "Watch this." "What? How did you—" Canopy clicked a button and a red circle appeared on the screen. My eyes went wide as he zoomed in on the circle, which was just off the corner of the screen. It was the mask. In fact, someone or something was wearing it, exactly the same height and build as one of the two people we had seen yesterday. But what sent real shivers was the fact that the masked person seemed to be looking right at the camera. It seemed impossible, but there it was. Canopy saved the image of the masked thing. "Let's see the next one," I told him. Here. The next one was at a restaurant. We watched his friend, a tall burly guy, walk into the restaurant, only stopping to talk to a tall young woman. Canopy clicked a key and the red circle zoomed in on a tree on the opposite side of the restaurant, where there was a forest. It was just the mask this time, except instead of smiling, it was frowning. Canopy saved that image too and moved on to the next one. This one was at a hotel where he stopped overnight. After we saw him greet the woman opening the door, we saw the masked person pop up in the hotel's room, just peeking through a metal fence. Canopy murmured something and went to the next one. This one was of an old church. He was the first to notice something strange about all of the videos. "That's impossible," he murmured. "What is?" "Look, Rainey, he goes into the church, and look who follows him in." I looked. It was a tall young woman. "Now look at the other two videos." The second one played, and Canopy pointed to the woman who had briefly talked to his friend. It was the same. The first video played, the one where I hadn't noticed the woman, but Canopy did, showing me that there was a sleeping woman on a bench. Initially, he had thought it was a homeless person, but we were wrong. The woman in all of them had the same height and clothes. The only thing we needed now was a face, but we couldn't find one. In all the videos, the same woman was there, barely noticeable, hiding in plain sight, but always something seemed to block our view of her face, whether it be a passing stranger, a leaf, or just facing away from the camera. "Wait, aha!" Canopy smiled, shouting. "What?" "Look!" Canopy showed me a blurred reflection off a dirty tile where her face should be. Canopy typed some sort of command and zoomed in on the tile, and just cleaned up the image. The screen went to loading, and we cheered. We were finally about to get some answers when... the face wasn't there. Not exactly. It was a mannequin's empty, featureless face. "That's impossible!" Canopy yelped. "I'll try reloading the scan." He did, but it yielded the same results. The reflection of a faceless woman. "That can't be," I murmured. "Someone would have noticed a faceless woman." No, think about it. People say mirrors show a person's true self." "It could be," I murmured. "Wait, look at the dress she's wearing. Maybe we can find out what it is and check to see who bought it. It doesn't look like a common dress, so..." "Right, on it." Canopy began to type furiously, selecting parts of the woman's dress. At last, he came up with a rough 3D model the computer had generated. It was a beautiful dress. It had these strange patterns, like trees repeating over and over, only if you looked at it in a different way, they looked like people. Furthermore, the colors were these vibrant mixes of grays and reds, and it was unlike anything I'd seen before. Canopy clicked another key. "Okay, I'm matching the dress to the internet," he explained. "Good." A moment passed, and then the computer rang, telling us a single match had been found. It was a dress called the Unity. But it didn't make sense at all. The dress wasn't supposed to exist yet. It was scheduled to be made next year, with the designs only having been completed a year ago. But the videos on the truck all were time-stamped as of 2015. So how could this seemingly faceless woman have been wearing a dress that hadn't been thought of, let alone exist, in 2015? "Canopy, there's a Contact the Artist button. Click it." He did, and we were sent to a private chat room with a guy named Mason Lopez. "Hi," he texted. "What can I do for you?" "We want to know who came up with the, Unity dress design." The reply was fast, impossibly fast. "It was me, but the truth is, this woman came to me in 2014 and gave me a bunch of drawings." "Have you made any of these?" Canopy typed. "No." "Not even for the woman?" "No. It's simply too expensive to make. We couldn't make it then because the materials were too expensive. It'll be made next year, though." "Who's the woman who gave you the design?" "Maisie Krylov." before Canopy could text another question, the chat room vanished and we were sent back onto the website. But this time, the Unity dress was gone. It was instead replaced by this pretty dress covered in roses. I read the name of the website, Arcos Studios. That name felt eerily familiar, and then I realized it. I had heard it on the news. "Canopy, this store doesn't exist anymore," I told him. "I read on the news they had closed down after being sued." I found something else," Canopy began. "Look at the locations section of the website." It listed 3 locations, and 2 of them were blacked out. But the last remaining location scared us enough. It was none other than New Varela. Next, I searched up the name Mason Lopez, the designer for the dress. "He's dead," I murmured. "Who?" Canopy asked. "Mason Lopez. He went missing last year, just straight up vanished from his own house. Police found his blood in an abandoned school's pool nearby. It was all of his blood, according to a lab tech. He's for sure dead. There just isn't a body." "Then, if Mason Lopez is dead, who the hell were we talking to?" "I think," I began, "it's time to take a trip to New Varela." Now, it would have been awesomely dramatic if at that moment Cassie finished prepping the plane and we were ready to go. But this was real life, and the plane wouldn't be ready for another 30 minutes or so. Instead, I asked Canopy to dig up any information about Maisie Krylov, the woman who made the dress. And there it was, one of the final pieces to the puzzle. We found her social media page, and on it, she wore the dress. After calculating height and build, Canopy and I were sure that this was the woman in the recordings, the faceless one. "That's it! We found her!" Canopy cheered. We high-fived. We began looking through her social media, all the way from the beginning, and what we found was, at the risk of sounding generic, weird. It was first made in 2015, specifically just a few months before Canopy's friend vanished. Maisie Krylov's first dozen posts were normal, just a person taking selfies with obscure artists and exploring the world. Then came the first of the weird posts. She claimed she'd found a strange book somewhere in the forests of China. She wouldn't explain where exactly she had got it, though. There was a photo of the book. It was large, a deep blue and red. There were symbols, a large trident-like one in the center that looked like a scorpion, and more around it. The sight of it seemed to convey power and fear into my very soul. Maisie Krylov, on the post, said that the book told her this story about another world where everything looped around itself, empty, yet filled with the ordinary. She said the book called the place the Unity. Her next posts were just a series of words, repeating over and over, just saying one over and over again. One of the posts, however, was different. Instead of ending by the same word, it ended with the word Internet. After that, there was just a series of seemingly random posts of locations. Locations, that Canopy noticed, were all places where mannequins had been found during the murders. Her final post was of a drawing of the Unity dress and how she would one day bring it into the world. And that was it. And then, just as we closed all the tabs, Cassie told us we were all ready to go. It was time to truly uncover what the hell was going on.